Today on Brilliance Business TV, we have Catherine M. White. Catherine is the founder and CEO of Accelerated Results 365, an author of Beyond Breaking Even, Your Toolbox to Building Exponential Profits, a straightforward blueprint for growing a profitable business, shared through a relatable analogy of building a home. Stay tuned. Welcome to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. I am your host, Mark Stephen Pooler. We have a wonderful guest today, Catherine M. White. Who does not want more profits in their business? Stay tuned. I just want to make an official shout out to our show sponsors, Dreamweaver Artist Ranch, and we are streaming live on mspnewsglobal.com. We're also on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, LinkedIn, YouTube, and we're also streaming through the E360 TV network under Fresh Takes, going out to Apple TV, Fire TV, Android TV, Roku, and many, many more. Let's bring in our incredible guest, Catherine M. White. Welcome to Brilliance Business, Catherine.
Thank you, Mark. It's an honor to be here. I really appreciate this opportunity.
I'm really looking forward to a conversation with you today, Catherine. Building a business at times, the analogy that you use of building a house, I really want to dig it deep into that, because I can imagine it's brick by brick, step by step, but we all want to make profits in our business. So we have a great topic to talk about today. Can you just take us back a little bit, Catherine, of your background and past that has led you to the work that you do today?
Absolutely. Well, I would go back as far as my childhood, actually. As a child, I grew up in a very poor home, and I learned at a very young age that I could learn how to make my own money by working hard and being creative. And so as I did that as a young child, I realized how great it felt to have money, to have my own money, and to be able to use it and spend it as I chose. And fast forward, I truly believe that that has attributed to my desire and my success that I have within my business to continue to grow, and not just for myself, but to also help others grow in business as well.
I truly believe that sometimes when you have grew up with not much, when your parents are not overly rich, I think it does give you that burning desire then to really work hard, and really that desire that you want more, to make more. And do you attribute that to your success, Catherine?
Absolutely. I think a lot of people have a misconception around the idea of wanting more, wanting to make more. And oftentimes we hear that when we want more, we're not satisfied with what we have, that it's a greed thing. And that's not necessarily the case. We were designed to be a person of growth, or a creature of growth. We were not designed to just sit and to be satisfied and be stagnant, but to actually grow and strive for more. So of course there are some areas where you can become greedy, but it's most of us are not in that category. We just really want to evolve, and that's part of what our role here is on this earth.
I agree totally. Life never stays the same. It's always changing. We're human beings, all about growth. And I truly believe in abundance as well. Just share, Catherine, with our audience a little bit about your business and how you serve your clients.
My business is Accelerated Results 365. And what I do is I provide business consulting services. I rather call myself more of a business growth strategist because I focus on being creative or innovative and finding ways to help my client grow. And I do that in a myriad of ways. And in a nutshell, what I do is I look at the full scope of the business and what are you doing as a business? What are the processes that you're using? Where is it that you want to go? What are the challenges? What are the things that are keeping you stuck and keeping you from growing? And that could be anything from how you're managing your money or maybe the lack thereof, which I find often. It could be how you're marketing your business and how effective is that being. It could be around your team and who you have as your team to help you grow. And it could be, and I'd say in every case, this is the challenge that we all face, is that it's us. We all have challenges within ourselves that keeps us stuck. And so part of what I do is working with my clients to shift their mind so that we can then get them into a mental space to be able to help them grow in the areas of their business and to develop processes that are going to help them simplify their business so that they can duplicate it, they can delegate it, they can automate it, etc. All those things that they need in order to grow and be profitable.
So it's quite a wide area of different parts of the wheel that you cover. It's just not one or two pieces. You really do help with the whole picture. And you did mention managing your money, because sometimes we may always be thinking we need more money. But if we do look at our finances, we may be able to make some savings somewhere, which will bring us more money without having to try out and go out and get it. Have you ever thought that way, Catherine?
Yes, and actually the title of my book, Beyond Breaking Even, Your Toolbox to Building Exponential Profits, I intentionally use the word profits rather than revenue because a lot of people, a lot of business owners are focused on revenue. I want more revenue. I want more revenue. How do I increase my revenue? Well, your revenue, if you're focused on your revenue rather than your profits, you could be continuing to make more money, but if it's not managed right or if you're
Yes.
not spending it properly, you're not going to have anything. So really the focus needs to be on profits and where can I not just grow my revenue, but how do I manage it? How do I expend it, etc. And that's really the true way that we build growth.
Definitely. I think sometimes we overlook managing our finances. And another thing as well, Catherine, excuse me, managing our time is so vital to build our business, because sometimes as entrepreneurs or business owners you can waste a lot of time, but that can have a knock-on effect with our profits as well. You give us your thoughts on that.
I love that you brought that up because that is something that I see over and over and over again, that I don't have time. I don't have time for this. I don't have time to take this class, or I don't have time to work with a business consultant. And the list goes on. And the thing is, if well, I've heard this said, and I'm sure everyone, you and everyone that's listening has heard this as well. If That we all have the same amount of time. We
Yes.
all have the same 24 hours in a day. And so why is it that some people are extremely successful in that 24 hours while other people are not? And it comes down to how are they managing or using their time? What are they putting in that time? And when I sit with the client and we start talking about, well, let's talk about your schedule. What are you doing? What are your daily habits? What are your daily tasks? We find that it's a matter of, again, not how much time they have, but how they're using their time. So we can adjust their tasks, we can move things around, prioritize things, and all of a sudden they realize that they really do have the time. Also, I'd like to add, time also has a lot to do with our mindset. And I don't know if you've ever had an experience where you were not in a good mindset, and by the end of the day you look back and you realize, I was not very productive today.
Yes, all
And
the
then
time.
yeah. Well, and I'm sure you've had days where you've just like you've been going and more or less running and you're
Yes.
getting things done and you look back and you're like, holy cow, how did I get so much done?
When I'm in the flow and I'm in a great mindset and the balance is all working, things just happen and you're so productive and tasks are really easy. But if you're having a slightly off day, maybe a couple of things go wrong and it knocks your mindset a little bit, it's really hard to focus on your activities and you will lose your focus on whatever you're working on. So I totally relate to that, Catherine.
Yeah, your focus and your momentum.
And when you're in the flow, it's like, how did I get all that done? And the day seems to have just flown and gone really quickly. But if you're having a bad day, I agree, it does really affect the results that you get. So that is a really important thing that people need to be aware of. And I didn't take much notice of managing my time at the beginning of my entrepreneurship journey. It wasn't a priority to me, so I would gladly waste time. But as you get busier and start having to spin more plates and you become more successful, you have to really manage your time and really look after your time and be precious with it as well. Have you noticed that, Catherine?
Oh, absolutely. And when I manage my time appropriately, those plates that feel like they're spinning 100 miles an hour, it'll feel like they slow down. So now they're going
Yes.
maybe 15, 20 miles an hour instead.
And when you're having an off day, they are spinning so fast and falling and smashing. This has been a great conversation, Catherine. We're going to go to a commercial break, so please stay where you are. We've got lots to cover. Thank you, everyone, for joining us for part one of Brilliance Business TV. We are having a conversation with Catherine M. White, and we are talking about profits. Join us after the commercial break.
Hello, this is Stephen Buckner, and just wanted to tell you I support the Dreamweaver project. It's a great project where, you know, artists such as myself will be able to come together and basically collaborate and to have a retreat to feel accepted and welcome. And that's something that artists here and around the world could always benefit from. So I just want to say, please support the Dreamweaver project. I think it's for a great cause, and I salute all the independent artists out there and artists that are signed as well. And have a wonderful day.
Welcome back to Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. We are joined with the incredible Catherine M. White. Catherine, you have just launched your new book. I know how excited you are about it, Beyond Breaking Even. Firstly, tell us a little bit about the book.
Well, the book is written using an analogy of a house and likening that to how do we build a business in a similar fashion. And I used that analogy because everybody, if or at least most everybody, if not everybody, can relate to that because we all live in some kind of a home of some sort, right? And I thought, what better way to describe the building of a business than in a way that people understand? And and the inspiration of this really goes back to last year when we got hit by this pandemic and things were shut down, people weren't going anywhere. And I myself, things in my business changed. I, like everyone else, I had to pivot. I had to make adjustments in order to keep my doors open and stay in business.
Yes.
And I have some friends that work in the construction industry, general contractors, that reached out to me because they were fortunately able to continue to do their work. They were getting clients. As a matter of fact, that industry for a lot of people grew. And they were struggling because they couldn't find people to come help them to work for them. And my friends know me well. They know I have a great work ethic, and I'll just about dig my hands into anything. If you need help, I'm there. So a friend reached out to me, asked me to come help out, and it just spiraled into one remodel job after another that I helped out with. And here I'm learning all these skills that I've never used before. And even as a homeowner, I'm like, I have no idea how to do any kind of repairs or remodeling of this house. So as I was learning all of these skills, it started to mold into this book and how I wrote it. And then the other inspiration for it was that I was reading an article that said it was less than 60% of businesses, I think to be exact, it was 39% of businesses make a profit. And I thought, wow, that's incredible. Actually, that's a terrible statistic.
39%
Make a profit.
make a profit.
Mhm.
That sounds awful.
Doesn't it?
It
Yes.
really does, because it makes you wonder why people are doing it if they're not making a profit.
Well, I think there are two reasons people are doing it. One is they continue to have this hope of one day I'll get there. And as we know, most businesses end up failing 50% in the first 5 years, and it jumps up to about 80% in 10 years. And so there's that hope. And the other thing is people want to have a business, right? They see business as the answer to having freedom, having more money. And the reality is that it can be that, but it takes a lot of work to get to that.
That's really quite sad, really, because when you're in business, it's hard work, Catherine, and everyone deserves to make a living and to have profit so that they can enjoy what they want to enjoy, or to even put food on the table and just the everyday essentials. So it's good that you're talking about that, because something needs to be done about that. People need to be making profit. So I know where you get your purpose from, and that is something to really keep you going. Tell us a little bit about the blueprint that you share in the book, Catherine.
Well, to simplify things, I broke it down into 4 phases, just like with building a house. The first phase is planning. You need to plan out your business. You need to have a plan. And that starts from everything from where or when do I leave my current profession? When is it time to make that leap? What kind of service or product do I sell? What is the name of my business? Who's my target market? And creating the ultimate business plan. Phase 2 is your build phase. And what you're looking at there is, now that I've got this plan, how am I going to fill it? How am I going to put up the walls? And I talk about building the foundation, which I relate to a lot of it. I relate to the mindset, which we've already talked about. And how do you create this mindset that's going to be conducive for your success? I also talk about building your team, and who is your team that's going to help you get to those results that you're looking for, that's going to help you build that business. And of course, in that, I talk about the importance of having a business consultant, because a consultant can see things that we don't see and see them
Yes.
differently.
When you're in the business, it's very hard to look outside of the business. So when someone like you can come in with fresh eyes and you can see the bigger picture, because you're not there in all of the craziness of the business. So that makes total sense. And tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the Toolbox theme, Catherine.
Sure. First, I need to tell you the last two phases.
Of course, you go ahead.
So the third phase is design. Once you build your house, you're then going to start thinking about how it's going to look, the aesthetics of it, the colors, etc. And likewise with your business, you're going to start thinking about your branding and how are you going to present it to your potential clients. And then number 4 is expand. Once you get to a certain level in your business, you're going to want to expand it. Like I talked about with
An extension.
growth. Yeah, exactly. And that is going to look like, if you relate it, or when you relate it to building a house. Well, do we remodel what we have? Do we knock down a wall, add another room, etc.? Or do we expand the products we have now? Do we add another product on, and that kind of thing?
I love it. And I actually shared a post of your press release on LinkedIn, and you had quite a few positive comments about the analogy of it, the house, and how people could relate to it. So yes, tell us a little bit about the inspiration behind the Toolbox theme.
Well, when you build a house, you can't build a house without tools. Likewise, when you build a business, there are certain tools that you need to build a business. So what I did throughout the book, I lace different tools within there, and I talk about different tools, and I explain how I relate these from the house to the business. So for example, one of the tools that I talk about is a measuring tape. Everyone is familiar with a measuring tape and knows that you need a measuring tape in order to build a house, right? And there's a Russian proverb that says, measure twice, cut once. So likewise in business, you want to focus more on the measuring than the cutting. The measuring is more important, because if you're not measuring properly, you're not going to cut properly. And while you can mess it up, you can mismeasure, you can miscut, and it's not the end of the world. You can go back and do it all over again. But if you measure it properly in the first place, you're going to save
Yes.
time and money. For example, marketing. A lot of people aren't measuring their marketing. They're just throwing money out on this and that and hoping that it's going to bring in floods of clients. But if they don't know what it's really bringing in, they're just throwing that money away.
And again, it's coming back to time, managing our time, managing our money. It is really, really important work that you're doing. Could you possibly give us a couple of the tools that relate to business, Catherine?
Absolutely. In addition to the measuring tape, another tool that I use that I really love is the level. In order to have a house that's going to have a good foundation and it's going to be strong and it's going to hold up, you need to be able to level that house. Can you imagine if you have a crooked house? And
We have one here in the UK. It's a pub.
I'm sure it's probably fascinating to come and look at, but it's probably, there are a lot of problems that come with something like that that's not built
Yes.
properly. So I use the level as an analogy for our mindset in your business, building that foundation and leveling it out through doing activities that are going to clear out your mindset, just like you would clear a piece of land before you build on it. You want to clear out your mindset, clear out the clutter, level it out, and prepare it for that building. And another one of the tools that I use that I think is very important, of course, they're all important, but probably one of the most other important ones is a 5-in-1 tool. And a 5-in-1 tool is used for, it has multiple purposes. And so I liken that to the team that you're going to want to build in order to have this successful business, this profit wealth building business. And the 5-in-1 represents 5 people that you want to have on your team. So you want to have someone who's an expert in finances, a good bookkeeper, CPA, etc. You want to have someone who's an expert in insurance to properly protect your business and what you're building. You want to have someone who is going to help you see your business and see the angles that you're missing, see the opportunities that you're missing, and so that they can help you build that business. And then I share a couple more. And of course, and if you want those, get a copy of the book.
Well, definitely. I think it's really clever what you have done, Catherine, because everything is relating to business and how to grow your profits and create a successful business. But using that analogy of the house, building of a house, I think it just makes it so much more fun and interesting to learn the information, but it all relates so well to business. So I just think that is a really clever way. I would encourage all of our audience to get a copy of Beyond Breaking Even. It's on Amazon. That's Beyond Breaking Even on Amazon. We all want more profits. We're all in business, and I am sure you will take some value from this book, Beyond Breaking Even. Go to Amazon. Catherine, what is the best way for our audience to connect with you?
Well, they can, of course, find me on my website, acceleratedresults365.com. They can find me on Facebook and LinkedIn at Catherine M. White, or they can reach out to me directly through email, Catherine, that's CATHERINE, at acceleratedresults365.com, or via telephone at 206-422-4450.
Catherine, I have thoroughly enjoyed having a conversation with you. Good luck with all the new book launch. I know lots of progress is being made. It's all launched and it's doing really well. So I really wish you great success with that. Thank you for being my guest today on Brilliance Business TV.
You're welcome. It's been a pleasure.
The pleasure's been all mine. Thank you, everyone, for watching Brilliance Business TV, conversations with leading experts in business. Until next time, bye for now.